Anything else people should be thinking about if they're just diving into AR? What are common things that you see? Any other common things, questions that people have, or mistakes that people make?
Mhm. Well, I'll say a couple of things. One, it's not as difficult as you think.
Yeah.
Um, Two, it's cheap.
Mhm.
You can actually open a hobbyist account and prototype like up to 5 experiences for nothing, and the
Mm.
account stays open forever. So, once you start actually applying them to your learning experiences, you'll need to get a license, but, Zapper lets you get in there and just play with it for a minute and see if it's gonna work for you, which I think is amazing.
Mhm.
Um, I think of it as just like every other tool in your tool belt, right? So, we have lots of tools. We have Storyline, we have video editing software, we have sometimes video recording software, we have animated videos, we have micro learning, right? We have Adobe. Here's the thing: if you can create a PowerPoint slide, you can create a simple augmented reality experience. You already have the skill set. I'm going to say it
Yeah.
one more time. You already have it. Everything transfers. If you know how to work Adobe programs, you can make a complicated one because Adobe is complicated as shit.
Yeah.
I have a hate-love relationship with Adobe. I absolutely hate the process, but I typically love what comes out of it.
Mhm.
But I the process makes me there's a reason I'm going bald back here. It's Adobe. Um, right? So, but, like, if you can do that, you can make it, an even more complicated one. So you already have the skills that you need to do it.
Yeah.
But AR and just XR in general, that stuff all begins in design.
Mhm.
So what you don't wanna do is roll out a program. You can do this, but it's not the most efficient way, and then go back and say, "Oh, I bet you I can make this AR." And with your existing stuff, that might be a good way actually to get started. But going forward, as you're building out your design, be thinking about what could I do? Where in this design could I take some contextual information and make it more engaging,
Mhm.
make it more dynamic, make it so that they are breaking their concentration with the e-learning that I'm in and using their mobile device, which by the way, they love. They love it. We are all in love
I'm in
with
love
our
with the
mobile
phones.
devices.
Yes.
And so now you're having them take something that they love, they're looking at it, they're learning, they're getting a dopamine hit, they're getting the blue light effect, and then they're going back to their e-learning and they can't wait to scan again
Mhm.
because they've gotten that sort of hit from
Mm.
the dopamine.
Yeah.
So I think we should capitalize on that, right?
Yeah.
It's not we're not ma look, we're not addicting people to like, they're already addicted. We're
Yeah.
just taking advantage of that addiction,
Yeah.
and using it to help them learn better.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of the things that I typically find myself saying a lot, is that, you already have the skills to do this. It's cheaper and easier than you think, and let's break that concentration so that they can refresh. Just think of it every time they go into their phone, it's like a refresh. One other thing I'll mention is we were talking about great ways to use it. So context, just in time learning. I would also say knowledge checks. Now,
Mm.
notice I didn't say skill checks,
Mhm.
but knowledge checks. Skill checks, maybe. Knowledge checks for sure. So if you just want to check in and say, give them a 5 question quiz to say, hey, did you hear this? Do you remember what you learned a minute ago?
Mhm.
This is a great way to, again, take them out of whatever they were learning it from and do it in AR, and then you can be more dynamic in the type of rewards you give. For
Yeah.
example, giving, like, a non-credentialed badge so they can take a selfie and an augmented reality selfie so that there's digital content overlaid, like, says, I passed the test," or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they can post that on social, and that, again, is activating that dopamine. I'm
Mhm.
doing it down here, but it's really up here.
Mhm.
But, like, it makes your heart feel good,
Mhm.
and so we're sort of capitalizing on that and the fact that people love to take selfies. They all do.
Yes.
Even the people that say they don't, Destry, everyone. Everyone loves to take
Everyone loves
selfies.
selfies.